Students, today we are going to study our third lesson in our main course textbook. It is in second theme, mystery and suspense. The chapter name is The Hound of Baskervilles. It is an excerpt from The Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. Let's start. Let's know about the plot of the story. This story is set in the moors of Devon. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are investigating the mysterious death of Sir Charles Baskerville. The local people think that Sir Charles' death is connected to a 200-year-old family curse. Curse means opposite of boon. We know that what is curse. According to curse, a monstrous demon dog roams the moors and seeks revenge against the Baskervilles. The life of Sir Henry Baskerville, the heir of Sir Charles, might also be in danger. Watson goes to Baskerville Hall first and meets four people who could be possible suspects. There is Barrymore and his wife. Then there is an archaeologist named Stapleton and his sister, Beryl Stapleton. Holmes meanwhile does his own investigation. He takes the help of Lestrade, a police detective. He visits Baskerville Hall secretly and finds a striking resemblance between Sir Hugo Baskerville and Stapleton. So here our Sherlock Holmes found a similarity between Hugo Baskerville and Stapleton. Actually, Hugo Baskerville already died and his portrait or photo is hanged on the walls of Baskerville Hall. Sherlock is sure that Stapleton is actually a Baskerville and, with Sir Henry dead, he stands to inherit the Baskerville fortune. Though he has a motive for murder, Sherlock and Watson will have to catch him red-handed to prove that he is guilty. More importantly, they have to save Sir Henry before it is too late. How will they do it? Read on to find out. Let's begin. We picked up Lestrade at the railway station and arrived at Baskerville Hall. Paying off the carriage, we walked across the moor in the moonlight until we reached the path leading to Merripit House. My nerves were tensed as we walked with the cold wind on our faces and dark empty spaces on either side. So we already seen who is Lestrade. Lestrade is the police investigative agent, and we here means who are they? Our Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. So here moor means an area of land that is not cultivated. So they are going to where? Merripit House. Merripit House means the name of the house in which Stapleton lived. My God, it doesn't seem a very cheerful place, said Lestrade. So here we can see a scary setting in the story, isn't it? It is a dark, cold night on a lonely moor, isn't it? Actually, these three men were going towards to where Merripit House, and they want to save Sir Henry from the death. More than that, we can see the curse of the Baskerville, isn't it? More than 200 years, the heir of the family is dying in a suspicious way. So everyone thought that it was a curse by a demon dog. Actually, our investigators have a doubt. So they want to clear that and they want to save Henry. Moving on, we moved silently and carefully until Holmes stopped us about 200 yards from the house. This will do, he said. We can hide behind these rocks on the night. Watson, you know the place. Creep forward quietly and see what they are doing. So these are the words of Sherlock Holmes. I tiptoed down the path till I could look through the window. Sir Henry and Stapleton were sitting at the round table with coffee and wine in front of them. Stapleton was talking in a lively manner, but Sir Henry looked pale. Pale means very much tensed, looking like illness. You say the lady is not there, Holmes asked when I had told them what I had seen. Yes, and there is no light in any other room either. A dense white fog hung over the great Grimban mare and was slowly moving in our direction. So here Grimban means horrifying and mare means an area of deep mud into which one can be sucked. Holmes turned his face towards it. That fog is the one thing upon earth that could have upset my plans. But it's already 10 o'clock. Our success and Sir Henry's life depends on his coming out before the fog is over the path. As the fog came curling around the house, Holmes dropped on his knees and put his ear on the ground. Thank heavens, I think I hear him coming. So, do you know why did Holmes put his ear on the ground? So, here Holmes put his ear to the ground to hear the footsteps of anybody coming down the path. A sound of quick steps broke the silence. We started keenly at the path. Keenly means eagerly and enthusiastically. The steps grew louder, and though the fog came, the man we were waiting for. He walked swiftly along the path, passed close to where we were hiding, and went on. As he went on, he kept looking uneasily over his shoulders. Hist, said Holmes suddenly, and I heard the click of a revolver. Look out, it's coming. So here they seen a hunting dog. We stared into the fog, and then I saw Holmes' lips part in amusement while Lestrade gave a yell of terror. I was frozen by the sight, the dreadful shape which came leaping towards us. It was a hound, an enormous coal black hound, but such a hound human eyes had never seen. Fire burst from its mouth, its eyes glowed, and its jaws were outlined and flickering flame. It seemed like a horn from hell. So they could understood that this is a dreadful demon dog. With a long bounce, the huge creature bounded down the track, following hard upon the footsteps of Sir Henry. We were so stunned that we let it pass. Then Holmes and I both fired together, and the creature gave hideous howl, which meant that it had been hit. Hideous means dreadful howl. But it did not pause. Far away on the path, we saw Sir Henry looking back, his face white in the moonlight, his hands raised in horror. That cry of pain from the hound had blown our fears to the winds. If we could wound it, we could kill it. Never have I seen a man run as Holmes ran that night. Ahead of us, we heard Sir Henry scream and the deep roar of the hound. I was in time to see the beast spring upon its victim, hurl him to the ground, and reach for his throat. But the next instant, Holmes had emptied his revolver into the creature. With a last roar of agony, it rolled upon its back, its 4 feet pawing the air, and then fell limp on its side. So, pawing the air means the dog was pawing the air because after it was shot, it lay on its back and it was moving its paws in the air. Sir Henry lay in a faint. We loosened his collar, and Holmes breathed a prayer of thanks. When he saw that we had been in time, already our friend's eyelids shivered and two frightened eyes looked up at us. My God, he whispered. What was it? What in heaven's name was it? It's dead, said Holmes. We have laid the family ghost to rest, once and forever. So, laid the family ghost to rest here means ended the worry of fear that had been there for a long time. In sheer size and strength, it was a terrible creature which lay stretched before us. Even now, the huge jaws seemed to be dripping with bluish flame, and the small, deep set, cruel eyes were ringed with fire. I touched its jaws, and as I held up my own fingers, they gleamed in the darkness. Phosphorus, I said. So we know that what is phosphorus, a chemical which glows, cleverly prepared to have no smell as it would have interfered with the dog's sense of smell. We owe you a deep apology, Sir Henry, for letting you face this fright. I was prepared for a hound, but not for such a creature as this, and the folk gave us little time to receive him alive, but we first endangered it. Are you strong enough to stand? He staggered to his feet, but he was still pale and trembling. No more adventures tonight, said Holmes. Wait here, and one of us will go back to the hall with you. So here we know that firstly, Holmes put Sir Henry's life in danger because from these scenes we can see that Holmes put Sir Henry's life in danger because he was shocked by the appearance of the hound and reacted slowly because of it, letting it go past them towards Sir Henry. After that only he became emptied his revolver. So let's know the climax portion. We helped him to the shelter of a rock where he sat shivering while we walked towards Merripit House. They find Beryl, who is actually Mrs. Stapleton, bound and gagged in an upstairs room of Merripit House. She leads them to Stapleton's secret hideout. But by the time they reach the secret place, Stapleton is dead, having slipped and fallen into the mire.